So we have spent over $150,000 in mentors and hiring business coaches for us to be able to reach $1.4 million over the span of 3 to 4 years. And I'm going to show you the exact mentors that we invested in and how much it costs so you can know what to expect and the lessons behind it. So let's get into it. Number one, back in between 2020 and 2021, I can't remember the exact month. I know my mom went out of town. She went with her 500, which is him 500, which is Marcus Barney's wife, to a Skittles event, and they went out of the country. I can't remember what country they went to. And the place that they went to, she was introduced to credit. So we were trading at the time. We were trying to find out different ways to try to help other people fund their accounts. And the blessing is that she went to an event and ended up joining the HIM 500 recession proof, right? Spent, I believe at the time, I can't remember, I believe it was $3,500 to spend to join recession proof. And we actually spent that money. And with that, we learned from there how to repair, restore, and rebuild someone's credit, okay? And from there, we learned a whole lot, okay? We learned a whole lot about how exactly to repair someone's credit, get them funding, and then be able to leverage and put that into their trading accounts at the time when we were focusing and our offer was solely trading, right? And so we spent $3,500 under that. Like, I highly suggest recession proof. You get chapters, you get to learn different things from different people. So I highly, you guys get into recession proof. It is super valuable if you want to learn how to get into credit. So second mentor we invested back May of 2021 was Nehemiah Davis. We spent $55,000 twice. It was $55,000 for the year. We spent it twice, which is $110,000 in personal development. We learned exactly, this is what I took away. Personally, I learned content and I also learned campaigns, okay? Events, if it's challenges, if it's, funnels, if it's, live events, these things we learned through Nehemiah Davis, how to exactly make ourselves aware, make other people aware of who we are on social media. Because that's when we were doing I was doing about $2-3 grand a month at the time from trading. And people were spending like $20 a month. We had like over 100 people in the community. And story short, he taught us exactly how to raise our prices and how to create content as well as create campaigns so that people can actually join what we have going on. We spent 55 grand. We did not have 55 grand at the time, but we made our 55 grand back in literally 30 days from us actually doing it. So crazy, all right? Third thing, right, is Runway Billionaire, okay? So if you all are not aware of Runway Billionaire, he's a huge person who also taught a lot of people in the industry how to sell low ticket products, okay? We actually invested in him, and what I personally learned from being in his mentorship is conversion. How to properly convert someone from a follower to a lead to a buyer. Okay, we learned that from like automation, from how to hire properly, how to, get into the right rooms. These are things that we learned from his mentorship. It definitely was worth it. I learned that from Runway Billionaire. Another person that we invested into was Ken Collier. He actually has the #1, he's a Black-owned virtual assistant business. He has the #1 virtual assistant agency in the world. And we invested 12 grand into his mentorship. So Runway, we spent 24,000, if you're unaware. Nehemiah, we spent 110,000. Ken Collier, we spent 12,000, right? To learn how to hire virtual assistants. And we actually established a virtual assistant business at the time as well. We thought that was very lucrative, which it is. If you're looking for something that's high profit margin, low expenses, definitely get into the virtual assistant business. It's super crazy it's ridiculous on the ROI when it comes to building a virtual assistant business. But we invested into Ken Collier more to learn exactly how to hire, okay? And we learned exactly how to hire. We know how to hire the right people. We have the greatest team right now that we have in a very long time. So we definitely would recommend you learn how to hire within your business so you can scale the way that you need to. And so the way that we learned how to hire was, how do we do screening interviews? Do we need secondary interviews? How do we do them? How do we do culture interviews? How do we do alignment interviews? All these different types of things so that we can actually hire the right person for our business. What quality questions to ask? Do we do tests? These type of things are important when it comes to hiring a person. And so we learned that from Ken Collier. Another person that we hired recently actually was Boniface Agonti, right? He taught us how to he simplified a lot of information. What we were doing is we had a shiny object syndrome issue. We would see a whole bunch of other people getting results. We saw, you know, challenges, webinars, live events, a lot of different things that we were learning that we were just like, nah, we need to execute one thing and one thing only and cater it to our exact lead flow and audience that we have. When we started with Boniface, we probably had about, in total of all followers, probably like maybe 30, 40,000 followers altogether. Ever since we left, of course, we've been able to execute a lot more of what Nehemiah Davis said in regards to, and AKA Neo, to be so on Instagram. But we learned a lot of different things from him on scaling our social media. And from that, at the time we only had 30,000. Now we, of course, on all platforms have close to 100,000. But we learned exactly how to productize our business. Okay, so we learned to pick one thing, stick to one thing that associates with our current lead flow and our current audience that works best for them, and productize it. Like, have it where when one person comes in, you get 10 people coming out, right? You get 10 purchases coming out, right? We learned how to build memberships properly. We learned how to, you know, build a proper VSL or a webinar in order for us to actually productize our business. So when someone comes in, they don't even need us involved. It's 100% automated, right? So these are things that we learned. In total, we spent $5,800 with him. So that's a total of, I believe, $155,300 that we spent in personal development over the past 3 years. And we've definitely gotten a huge ROI from that. So like, we crushed at 1.4 in those 3 years. We're obviously over that. I think we're at close to 2 million right now over that time period. But I'm just gonna go to 1.4. Oh, so we're gonna say, let's see, 1.4 million divided by 155,300. That's about a 9x ROI in our investment. That's how big mentors are. We had a 9x ROI in our investment over the 4 years now, because it's 2024. And like I said, we're close to around 2 million now, right? So I want y'all to understand something. This is something like, mentors are incredibly important, and we highly suggest that you all invest in mentors. Mentors is what's going to change your life. It's going to make your entire life and your entire business move smoother. So if you haven't invested into a mentor and you want to invest in us as a mentor, go ahead and click the link in the description. This will actually teach you the exact blueprint we use to be able to scale our family business to multiple 6 figures and crossing 7 figures over the 4 years now that we've been in business. And if you want to actually learn how to do that and bring your family along with you, then go ahead and click the link in the description. We got a free workshop for you, a free training that you can actually walk through, and we'll teach you everything that we know, and then we'll go ahead and take you and your family to the next level. All right, y'all, peace. See you in the next video.